In the bustling city of New Dawn, where the skyline kissed the clouds and the streets pulsed with life, Sonia Kapoor stood as a symbol of hope and integrity. A lawyer of unparalleled skill and unshakable principles, Sonia had dedicated her life to fighting for the downtrodden. Her beauty was striking, but it was her fiery determination and compassion that left an indelible mark on those who met her. Sonia's journey into law began with her childhood dream of making a difference in the world. Her father, Justice Mahesh Kapoor, a retired judge, had often spoken of the weight of justice and the responsibility it bore. Her mother, Shanti, a schoolteacher, emphasized the importance of empathy and understanding. These values shaped Sonia into a woman who believed that the law was not just a set of rules but a tool to serve humanity. Her younger brother, Kenneth, was her closest confidant. A budding journalist with a thirst for truth, Kenneth often accompanied Sonia to court, fascinated by her eloquence and passion. Though mischievous, Kenneth shared his sister's ideals and dreamed of exposing corruption and bringing transparency to society. Sonia is going for an interview. She has gone to many courts but she couldn't secure any job in magistrate court. She is on the verge of giving up all hope. She sat down worried. Her father came and asked her, "What is the matter? Why the long face?" Her father asked, showing concern towards his daughter. "Father, I don't know why I am unable to secure a job. It is too difficult to pass through this interview. I feel like I made mistake by choosing lawyer as my profession." First, stop calling lawyer a profession but make it your passion. The path you choose is not an easy job. You have to be determined in order to succeed. But right now what you need is patience. Don't worry. Soon, everything will fall into place again. Sonia went for an interview and they put forth a deal to her. "Since you say that you want to become a lawyer so that you can fight for the poor people, there is a case concern a wealthy landlord and poor farmer in a rural areas. If you are able to win the case, then this job is for you, but if you are unable to fight the case then you don't supposed to be here," the lawyer said. "Fine, I will take up the case." Everyone in the room is surprised, so they gave her everything related to the case and she set off to meet the poor farmers in the rural area. When she came, they were all glad and they helped her with the details concerning the case. She promises to win the case for the sake of their families. Sonia represents the poor farmers while Mrs. Pal represents the wealthy farmers. Mrs. Pal is one of the strong and famous lawyers in the state, but to her greatest surprise, she lost the case to Miss Sonia. Everyone in the courtroom was amazed. Mrs. Pal was impressed with what she saw but she still looked at Sonia and left. Little did she know she will be her future mother-in-law. Mrs. Pal is still wondering who the girl was. She didn't know when her son came home. He came closer and asked his mother, what could be the problem that she became cold. She told him what happened at the courtroom today. "Honestly, I couldn't believe that I would lose a case to one girl. It is an open and short case. The girl is still new in the system but I can still see fire in her eyes. She will go far in our line of profession," she said. His son held her mother's hand and said, "Do you know why I love you? You are always happy with the success of other people even if it happened that you lost. You will still be happy," her son said. Mrs. Pal smiled and hugged her son. One day, when Kenneth dropping Sonia to court, he saw 3 boys who looked very suspicious. He told his sister about a man who was in jail but he was giving a comfortable life. "I want you to fix the case." Her brother said to her sister, "Don't worry, when I am done with the justice I am fighting for the poor farmers. I can now focus on your own case," Sonia said while smiling. "Is not my case but the country's case," Kenneth said. "All right brother, I will see what I can do, but you know I'm a young lawyer," Sonia said. "But with determination and hard working you can be a perfect lawyer," Kenneth said. In the evening they are waiting for Kenneth to return. Kenneth came back very late. His father was angry with him. "Why did you come back late? Why didn't you join us for dinner?" his father asked. "Sorry father, I have work. That's why I returned late," Kenneth said. "What work is important for your studies?" "I told you to join the armed forces," his father continued. His father has been persuading Kenneth to join the army but Kenneth told him that, "It is not a must that I must join the army. Don't worry father, one day I will do something that will make you proud. I will have awards and recognition." He pointed at the glass shelf and told his father, "You see these shelves, I will decorate this shelf with my awards, just wait and see." His father smiled and both hugged each other. His mother was behind them smiling. In college, Kenneth and Angel were having a misunderstanding. When Colonel Zadok came between them and tried to solve the situation. Zadok loves Angel so much, but Angel loves Kenneth. But Kenneth warned him not to do so ever again. Don't ever come between me and my girlfriend, ever again, especially whenever I am having issues with her. Kenneth warned. Kenneth came outside his college and met his 3 friends. They went and finished the school formality and clearance. In a wedding, Raj is using his fancy camera to capture some beautiful moments in the wedding. When he captured a beautiful girl whose name is Sonia, Sonia is with her friends dancing and laughing. Raj came to her and fell in love with her. He tried to introduce himself, but Sonia didn't give him the opportunity to do so. After the wedding, he finds out that he is in the same city with Sonia, and he vows to make Sonia his. One morning, while Raj was jogging on the streets, he saw Sonia on the scooter going to her place of work. At that moment he started looking for her. When he knows every detail concerning Sonia, he came to Sonia for a marriage proposal. But Sonia refused. He told Sonia how much he loved her, but Sonia refused him. This goes on, till the Raj family found a beautiful bride for him, but Raj refused. After so much persuasion from his family, he accepted the marriage proposal. He said, "It will be injustice to marry you, I don't love you. I can't just ruin your heart, please find it in your heart to forgive me." He came to his parents and said, "Sonia is the one I love, please give your consent on this relationship." His parents looked at each other and said, "Fine, we give consent to this marriage." "Thank you, father, thank you, mother," Raj said. Everyone is happy. His brothers came and hugged him. One of Raj's brothers is also a police officer. He came and hugged him so tight and said, "Raj, don't forget your duty and responsibility. You need to balance the two perfectly." He said that because Raj values his duty more than responsibility. But Raj nodded his head in agreement with what his brother said. It was during one of her most challenging cases that Sonia met Raj Malhotra, a courageous police officer. Sonia was defending a falsely accused laborer, while Raj was leading the investigation to uncover the real culprit. Their mutual dedication to justice brought them together, and as they worked side by side, admiration turned to love. Raj was a man of action, a perfect complement to Sonia's intellectual approach. His elder brother, Inspector Vikram Malhotra, was equally inspiring, a seasoned officer who had dedicated his life to protecting the city. The bond between the Kapoors and the Malhotras grew strong as Sonia and Raj planned their wedding, a union that symbolized their shared commitment to justice. After the groom and bride's parents meet, they finalize the wedding date and engagement date. They started buying clothes and jewelry for all the members of the family. They got engaged. But during the engagement ceremony, Raj's father left and went to a prison to see someone. When he reaches there, he meets the man who is a notorious terrorist. The man has been arrested for terrorist, but they later drop the charges of terrorist and tag him as money laundering. He had been in jail, but they made the jail so comfortable for him. He had every device. When Raj's father met him, he asked him, "Why did you come late?" "My son is getting engaged today," Raj's father replied. "You need to cancel the wedding. On that date you fixed your son's wedding, there will be a massive explosion in the city. Don't say I didn't warn you." Raj's father looked at him and left. He arrived and called his wife out and told her what happened today. His wife gathered the both families in the sitting room to deliberate on the matter. Sonia is not happy with the situation, and Raj and Sonia's brother noticed that. Kenneth raised his hand to say something. They gave him a chance to say what he wanted to say. "I know I am the youngest in this room, but thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to speak my mind." Sonia had been dreaming about her wedding. It would be unfair to her. "I suggest we should do a private wedding instead. The whole city is under a threat." Kenneth concluded. They all agreed on a private and small wedding. Sonia is happy with it. But in the following morning, some security men discovered some strange wire on the ground. At the wedding venue, Raj's father called the Prime Minister and told him the situation at hand, but the Prime Minister assured him that nothing would happen on that day. So they suggest on tightening the security. When Sonia's father was relaxing at the venue, one young boy came and gave him a wrapped gift for his daughter's wedding. He forgot to take it home. So the gift was left at the wedding venue. Sonia is a bit worried, but his brother assured her that her wedding will happen smoothly. The wedding day was a grand affair, filled with laughter, music, and the love of family and friends. Sonia, resplendent in a crimson saree, and Raj, in his ceremonial uniform, exchanged vows under the golden rays of the setting sun. But as the celebrations reached their peak, a chilling announcement interrupted the joy. A bomb had exploded in the heart of the city, leaving behind a trail of death and destruction. Raj and Vikram, driven by their duty, rushed to the scene. Kenneth, too, hurried to cover the story for his newspaper. Hours later, the devastating news arrived. Both Vikram and Kenneth had perished in the blast. The grief was unbearable, the wedding turning into a scene of mourning. The Malhotras and Kapoors were shattered, struggling to cope with the loss of their loved ones. The tragedy deepened when the government released its findings. In a shocking twist, Vikram was named a martyr, someone who died for his country, while Kenneth was branded a terrorist who had facilitated the bombing. They didn't stop there, they went to the wedding venue and discovered gift-wrapped gifts. When they opened it, they saw terrorist equipment. When they asked who had the gift, Sonia's father came out and said he would give it to me. From that moment they tagged him a terrorist too. They took him to jail. He was confused and in a state of shock. Sonia runs after the vehicle and her mother throws herself on the ground and weeps. Vikram in his police uniform was soaked with his blood. When he arrived at the hospital, he held his brother's hand, Raj, and said, "Kenneth. What happened to Kenneth? What did Kenneth do?" His brother Raj asked. Immediately Vikram wanted to talk. He gave up. Raj cried. His mother kept on calling him but he couldn't answer. "How can I face Mum?" he said. He returned to his wedding venue and saw his parents. He broke the news to his parents. Sonia came to Raj and said, "My brother and my father didn't do anything. Someone is trying to frame my family, please you have to believe me." Raj was so angry and said, "If you can't support the truth then support your mother." Her mother cried. And said, "Please son-in-law believe us." "You don't trust?" Sonia asked. "Yes, I don't trust your brother and your father," Raj replied. "Fine, I will get justice to my family. Stand with your family while I stand with mine." "Don't do this," Raj said in anger. "I lost my brother today," Raj shouted. "And I lost my own brother today," Sonia shouted back. "You love your duty, right? And I love my family above anything. And I can do anything for my family." "Fine, let's see how you do that," Raj shouted and left. On the day of the burial, they buried Vikram in a grand way, but no one came to Kenneth's burial. Even the mortuary attendants that carried his body were attacked by the people. People are throwing stones at them. Sonia came and helped in carrying his brother's body. She was captured by reporters when they interviewed her. She told them that she will fight the case for the sake of her family. On the burial ground, he saw his mother and his father, who he was handcuffed by the police. Sonia's father fell on his son's grave and cried. His daughter held his hands and put it on her brother's grave and said, "I promised on your son's grave, I will fight this case and I will get justice for you and my brother," Sonia said. Raj's family saw her on television and was angry with her. They kept quiet even when she arrived. Accusations sent shockwaves through the community, tarnishing the name of one young man who had dedicated his life to truth and justice. Sonia was devastated but refused to believe the narrative. She knew Ayan's heart and his commitment to exposing corruption. Her husband, Raj, came to Sonia and told her to drop the idea of fighting for family. She didn't listen to her husband Raj. Raj left her. In a police station, Raj came to register the case. He wants to get Sonia's father punished for his crime. He met his wife, and his wife came to register her name as her father's lawyer. Raj was shocked. But he didn't talk to his wife. He left. Raj's mother is the one fighting against Sonia's father in court. She didn't deprive her daughter-in-law of their rights. When she met her daughter-in-law in court, she told her, "You love your family, right? Let's see how you bailed your father. I swore on my son's life, your father will not get bailed." When she is about to leave, Sonia said, "I swore on my brother's life, I am not fighting for bail, I will fight for my family justice and reputation. No matter how long it takes, I will win the case," Sonia said. When the case is getting tougher, her mother-in-law insists that she will leave the house, since she dragged her husband. Sonia met a female reporter and disclosed some hit information. In an exchange, she asked the female reporter to get her some evidence. At first the reporter is hesitant in helping Sonia, but Sonia was able to convince her. While Sonia and her husband were in argument, the reporter called her and told her, "Sonia, you are right, the man in jail is Cain. He has 6 billion in his foreign account. Last month he transferred 4 billion to 2 different foreign accounts. The Home Minister had one account while the other account belongs to your father-in-law." Sonia was shocked, but she managed and told her to forward the evidence to her mail. She read the mail. But when wanted to approach her mother-in-law, she didn't give him the chance to talk. She told Sonia, "If you dragged my husband to this case, you will have to leave this place." During the proceedings in court, Sonia told the judge about the man named Cain, who possessed a laptop in jail, and transferred 4 billion from his account to 2 different foreign accounts. She gave the evidence to the lawyer. Even with the evidence, her mother-in-law couldn't believe what happened in court. She trusted her husband so much that he couldn't question him. But she promised to get her husband out of this case. She met Sonia and asked her, "I hope you have arranged a place you will stay because you can't stay with us again." Sonia said, "Yes, I have." Sonia met Colonel Zadok and begged him to tell the truth on what happened on the night of his wedding. But Zadok vowed not to say anything. When Raj found out that everything was fake, he approached his father, asked him why he framed his family, why he chose to scatter my new marriage with Sonia. "What have I done to deserve it?" he cried. But her mother came and slapped him. "If you want to choose to stand by your wife, it is okay, but don't ever accuse your father, ever again." When leaving, he told her mother to go and do some research. Her mother found it difficult to believe what her son said, but she mustered courage and did some research. She approached him and asked him why he did all these things. Her husband couldn't talk, but promised to make everything right again. Raj's mother called Raj and informed him of everything. "Your wife's family is innocent. We need to fight the bad fishes in the system once and for all." Later on, Colonel Zadok's heart melts and gives Sonia some evidence that can make her win the case, and fishes out those people that are responsible for the blast. Kenneth is a civilian, but that night he fought like a military, as if everything depended on him. He was shot by mistake. They mistook him as a terrorist. He apologized. With Raj's hesitant support, Sonia began her investigation. She pored over documents, interviewed witnesses, and scrutinized every detail of the case. Her search led her to a web of deceit involving powerful individuals who had orchestrated the attack to distract from their illegal activities. Kenneth had been close to exposing these activities through his journalism. Sonia's revelations culminated in a high-profile trial that captivated the nation. The courtroom was packed with journalists, activists, and ordinary citizens who had come to witness the proceedings. Sonia's arguments were impassioned and razor-sharp. She presented undeniable evidence that dismantled the government's narrative piece by piece. Raj, torn between his duty as a police officer and his loyalty to Sonia, eventually stood by her side. The trial became a turning point for the country. As Sonia exposed the real culprits, a group of corrupt politicians and business magnates, the public's outrage grew. The truth was undeniable, and the court exonerated Kenneth. The government issued a formal apology to the family of Kenneth. Kenneth was posthumously awarded the Medal of Valor for his service, and award for Sonia. Father received the awards on behalf of his late son. He made a few remarks. When Sonia father reached home with his wife, everything was vandalized. He took the 2 awards and kept them in the place where his son promised him. "Father, I will win some awards, and when I win it, put it on these glass shelves." His father sobbed while he kept the awards. Bittersweet. Though she had cleared her brother and brother-in-law's names, the pain of losing them remained. However, their memory became a source of strength, inspiring her to continue her fight for justice. In the years that followed, Sonia's work as a lawyer gained even greater prominence. She became a beacon of hope for the oppressed, using her platform to challenge corruption and champion the rights of the marginalized. Her marriage to Raj grew stronger as they navigated life together, bound by their shared commitment to truth and justice. The The tragedy that had once threatened to break them became a foundation for their resilience and unity. Sonia's story became a legend, a reminder that even in the darkest times, the pursuit of justice could light the way. Her journey was a testament to the enduring power of love, integrity, and the unyielding belief that truth would always prevail.